Hey there guys, I'm back to another video. Today I'm here to go and do my E3 wish list for this year. So pretty much before I watched any E3 predictions videos or anything related to E3 whatsoever for this year leading up to the actual event, I made a list of games that I want to go and see from PlayStation and Nintendo, and I haven't been touched to these lists since. I haven't made any adjustments. I haven't removed or added anything. These are just things that I want to go and see from the Nintendo and PlayStation conferences. Obviously, these are not going to be the only things talked about there. There's probably going to be a bunch of other stuff that I'm not really that interested in that they're going to talk about. But hey, these are just some of the things that I want to see from Nintendo and PlayStation, respectively. And the reason I'm only doing these two is because Microsoft has not been on my radar for the past several years. And then EA and Bethesda and all of those other conferences I'm not really that interested in either. So let's just jump into Nintendo. So Nintendo, a lot of people have a lot of predictions, expectations for them, and these are just mine. They're more than half of these are probably not even going to happen, but hey, these are just some things that I think would definitely make this E3 presentation worth it, just because like for the rest of this year, I'm pretty sure the Switch is set in terms of like games to be released, but what's going to come out in 2018, we don't know what the plan is for the Switch in 2018. So I want them to, give us some games and then, just say, yeah, they're going to be coming out in 2018 or whatever, because, I am afraid that the Switch might fall off a little bit in 2018 if there aren't enough games. So I feel like that they do have a plan for the Switch in 2018, and I hope that we see some of those games at this year's E3. So first up, Mario and Rabbids, the RPG. I want a official announcement for them, and not just an announcement, but I want to see some gameplay portions of it. Maybe give us some details of the gameplay itself if they're not ready to show off, actual gameplay. So I want to see some Mario and Rabbids RPG action, just because when it leaked, I was sort of surprised, but at the same time, it did look pretty official. And, there was like a leaked PowerPoint presentation that showed off them talking to investors and trying to sell it to gamers and stuff like that, which I just want this game to be good. I want it to just do Mario RPG things right, despite it having the Rabbids, being the, I guess, crossover with Mario. I wish that they could have used a different Ubisoft property like Rayman or something like that, but we got the Rabbids, so hopefully that they do something with this game at this year's E3 presentation. The next thing I want to see is Retro Studios. I want to see their new game. I want to see whether it is a new IP, whether it's Donkey Kong, whether it's a Metroid game. I feel like if it's a Metroid game, a lot of Metroid fans will go crazy, go nuts, and personally, I am not the biggest Metroid fan at all, but I can definitely understand where they're coming from. It's been several years since the mainstream Metroid game, and I know that pain of waiting for a long time for a new game within a series. I had to wait several years for the next Sly Cooper game, and when that came out, I played it, I finished it, and I loved it. So hopefully with this new Metroid game, it can do just that. Hopefully it's there, but if it's not, hopefully we see something from Retro Studios. The next game I want to see at the presentation from Nintendo is Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing for the Switch. I feel like that is just a match made in heaven, because Animal Crossing New Leaf is the first one I ever played in terms of the Animal Crossing games, and it was lovely. It was so good. I loved it. It is probably still one of my favorite 3DS titles of all time, despite me not playing it that much recently. When I was playing it, I was having a lot of fun. I was enjoying it. And, at a certain point, when you do everything within the game, it's sort of just like, all right, whatever, I think I'm done with this game, which is what I did with Animal Crossing New Leaf. I have not visited my town in several years, so I hope that I could make a new town in this new Animal Crossing game for the Switch, and hopefully we get to see some of that. Next game, Smash Brothers for the Switch, a deluxe version. I want it to be a deluxe version. I do not want them to make a brand new Smash Brothers game for the Switch, just because I feel like the Wii U version has not ran its life cycle just yet. Like, it has not been around for that long to warrant a brand new, Smash Bros game for the Switch, like a fully brand new game where they have to build it from the ground up. I feel like that if they just port over the Wii U version, I think a lot of people would be fine with that. Just add new characters, add new maps, and stuff like that. So One new character that I would love to see is the Ice Climbers make a return, and then obviously the Inkling boy and girl and a ARMS representative on there as well. So yeah, hopefully we get to see some Smash Bros action, because every single time a Smash Bros game is coming out, Nintendo takes every single opportunity to hype the game up, to show off these new character trailers and stuff like that, and it's always exciting for Nintendo fans and Smash Bros fans. So I hope that we get to see something from Smash Brothers on the Switch this year. Obviously, the next game I think is a given. If they don't show this off, I feel like that would be really dumb. Super Mario Odyssey. They have to show this game off. They have to give it some time to. They have to give some time within the presentation to show this game off, give us details on the gameplay, give us a release date. If I were to predict a release date, definitely November, somewhere in November, probably towards the middle, maybe even towards the end of November. We'll see. But yeah, I hope that we get to see a lot of Mario Odyssey, because this game looks great, but we just haven't seen a lot of it. The last time we saw this game was at the Switch presentation, which that was several months ago now. So I hope that we get to see more of Super Mario Odyssey, and I hope that it's not delayed, because I feel like that if it comes out this holiday season, Nintendo's gonna make a buttload of money during this holiday season. And yeah, there's just going to be a lot more Switch consoles within people's households. So Mario Odyssey, a lot of coverage on it would be really good. And the last game I'm going to talk about for Nintendo is sort of like a dream game that I wish and I hope that they show off. Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4. Please give me something of Pikmin, because Pikmin 3, so good. Probably one of the best Wii U games on there, probably within my top 3, top 4 Wii U games of all time. And I hope that they make a Switch version, because well, not like a Switch version, but like a new game within the Pikmin series on the Switch, because Pikmin has not seen the light of day in quite some time. Obviously, there is this new Pikmin spin-off title coming out very soon, within July, I believe. So hopefully we get to see something from Pikmin, because I just want more Pikmin action. So yeah, that is the end for the Nintendo part of this video. Let's jump into the PlayStation portion. So PlayStation, I feel like that they have to talk about a lot of the games that they showed off during the last E3 and the PlayStation Experience, because a lot of those games they have not talked about since. So I guess I'll talk about some of the E3 games that they showed off. So God of War, they have not talked about the game since that initial showcase. So I hope we get to see more of God of War, and hopefully a release window of some kind. And then for Spider-Man PS4, I have a lot of hopes for this game, because I love Spider-Man. I love a lot of these Spider-Man games. Some of them are not that great, but I do have a lot of fun with them. And I hope we get to see more of Spider-Man for PS4. Maybe a official title, maybe a release window, maybe more gameplay footage, a new trailer perhaps. I just want to see more of this game as well. And then Days Gone, which was that very generic zombie game that I think a lot of people was like, is this The Last of Us? Like Days Gone, I have some, hopes for this. I hope it's good, but at the same time, it could definitely be like a really generic zombie game and be pretty bad. So depending on how they set this game up and how they build it up and how they, advertise it and support it, I hope that Days Gone does get a spotlight within this year's E3 presentation. And yeah, so and then the next game was shown off at the PlayStation Experience, and was probably the most hype thing that any PlayStation fan could I guess say from that conference. The Last of Us Part 2. And The Last of Us Part 2 is definitely a game I'm very excited for. We have no release window, nothing about the game other than it's happening. So the game is probably still in heavy development. It's probably still being in development, but I want them to at least talk about it, give us some gameplay that's in alpha, maybe show us a new cutscene. I don't care. I just want to see something from The Last of Us Part 2. And yeah, because this is PlayStation's new flagship IP, and it is doing very well for them. So I hope that they show off more of The Last of Us. So the last thing I guess I could talk about in terms of PlayStation is Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch Productions, they have not been out in the world in a while in terms of the gaming world. They have not announced anything in terms of their new project or anything like that. So Sucker Punch, what are you guys working on? Is it a new IP? It probably is, most likely a new IP. I would highly doubt that they are going back to the Infamous series, just because Second Son, it might have sold well, but I don't think the critics really took the game that well. So personally, I liked Second Son. It was a pretty good game, I think. But, you know, some people just didn't like it, and I hope that we get to see something from Sucker Punch. They could be returning to Sly Cooper. You know, that is always a dream of mine, you know, them going back to Sly Cooper and hopefully finishing it off with a 5th game. I hope that that can happen, because Sly 4, they could have definitely ended, like, the series on a good note there from Sanzaru Games. You know, they could have definitely ended it, but they decided to leave it on a strange cliffhanger. So hopefully we get to see something from Sucker Punch. Hopefully something, you know, something about Sly Cooper, because there is a movie in development, and maybe they'll show some of that, but I highly doubt it. So yeah, and obviously, you know, surprises from PlayStation are always a given. They always give us something surprising. I think the last E3 conference was definitely full of surprises, like God of War, Spider-Man, etc. So hopefully this year is the same. So those are my predictions, wish list, whatever you want to call it, for this year's E3 presentation. What are some of your things that you hope and predict you'll see at this year's E3 from whatever company, studio, whatever it is? So be sure to comment below. I'll be sure to read them. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Haven't already, you can subscribe. I put new videos up every Saturday. When I'm following me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, you can do that as well. Follow my Twitch page. I'm trying to stream a lot more. I just have to go and pick out which games I want to stream. And yeah, so I think that is actually about it. So thank you guys for watching this video again. Now see you guys next time with more videos. Game on, gamers.